Hello, bonjour, Connect Hearing community. Welcome to another live information session. Hopefully you had a really good Thanksgiving with your family about 10 days ago, I guess. And I know probably won't, for a lot of you might not be, was not the same, let's say that way. But we just need to be grateful to everything we have, I guess. The topic for today, I'm gonna be going over some tips and tricks for new and experienced hearing aid users. While we're waiting everybody to join us, hi Gerald, hi Dave, hi Brian. This is a special week for me. It's my birthday week, so in a couple of days, I know I won't be able to celebrate as the way I usually like to celebrate. But I'm still happy, trying to age gracefully, following all the recommendations and tips and tricks, let's say, that my patients have gave me along all these years. So if you have any tips and tricks for aging gracefully, I would love to listen and hear from you. But welcome to another live video. If it's your first time here, welcome. I'm Christiane Basilio. I am an audiologist, and I have a doctorate degree in audiology, and I have been working in the field for about 18 years. So we have been doing these live sessions since the lockdown started, and there was a lot of questions. So I hope I have been helping you guys throughout this month. So topic for today are tips and tricks for new and experienced hearing aid users. Okay. I want to start the topics and tricks for the new users and for people that just got new hearing aids. Okay, so the reality is most of the time when you get a new technology, a new hearing aid style, the time to adapt to them could be similar to when you just got a new hearing aids. Okay. So a lot of these tips that I will be going over today will apply for that situation as well, all right? Very important is to, of course, be open and ready to experience new sounds, a new experience, I guess, when we get new hearing aids or first time getting hearing aids, okay? My first tip is this adaptation period, all right? Very important is to adapt slowly to the hearing aid. When I mention slowly, I know you might have heard, and that might be not my recommendation, but I don't usually recommend people to start wearing hearing aids maybe just for like 2 hours a day, okay? My recommendation is for you to wear them all day long, right on the first day, but wear them more in a quieter environment, okay? Of course, this adaptation period will vary based on your hearing loss degree, on the hearing style you got, the technology you got. But overall, the feel of having the hearing aids in, it's always a big part of adapting to a hearing aids. So if you don't wear them enough, it takes much longer to get used to them, okay? So try to, when you get the hearing aids, we're gonna go over, right, everything about how to put it in, take it out. So all the new stuff when you're a new user. And maybe if you just got a new custom shell or something different and you're not used to it, it might take a few days to get used to the feel, to how we insert them. That's why it's so important to be wearing them all the time, okay? Some sounds that you might notice, especially when you get a new hearing aid or even a new technology actually, some sounds like the paper rustling, pots and pans, steps on the floor, all of that, it's very normal to be more aware of those sounds in the beginning, okay? So even though you might be wearing them in the beginning at home where it's quieter, but you might notice a bit of a noisy world in your house as well. Okay, what is very normal, okay? important to get used to that sounds around you. I know a lot of people have that first couple of days with the hearing aids and they feel, I don't want to hear all those sounds around me. There is no hearing aid that will make you not to hear the sounds around you, okay? The reality, the sounds are there, and that awareness of sounds around you, it's very important for your brain to learn how to focus on speech, conversation, and being able to tune it out from those sounds, okay? Adaptation period can take from 3 to 6 weeks to get used to those hearing aids, but it will change quite a bit if you wear them all the time, okay? So always my recommendation is to wear a minimum of 8 hours a day, okay? And we'll talk more about that. So what else it feels like when you get a new hearing aid? And that feel is something that I say that can take longer to get used to it. They might feel funny, they might feel weird in your ears. It's a foreign object, right, in your ear canal. So it takes a while for your brain to get used to having something new. I always make a very simple analogy. It's like when we get a new ring, in the beginning, you really feel the ring. After a while, you don't even remember they are there, right? So it's something that's normal to our body to get used to a foreign object. It's normal to feel a little itchy, so you might feel a bit of an itchiness in the ear canal when you wear a new hearing aid or maybe a new type of shell. Also the skin will kind of get used to that most of the time, and if not, and if you were wearing them for a couple of hours every day, as I mentioned, then there's a couple of things we can suggest to you to maybe wear it or dry it out your ears. So there's things I have mentioned in some of my videos about itchy ears, okay? But it's normal to feel a bit of itchiness in the beginning, okay? You might question yourself, am I gonna ever be able to get used to something in my ears? And you will, okay? You will, because it's a hearing aid that's supposed to help you hear better. It's supposed to improve your quality of life. So once we get something that you feels comfortable, and you might need to change different sizes, okay? So we might started with a bigger tip in the ear, so like the domes, we talk about it, but maybe that doesn't work. And because you're wearing them every day, it's much easier for you to report that when you come back for your follow-up. Okay, so during this beginning, when you're trying this new technology and new hearing aids, we have the follow-up appointments, and that's what they're for. But if you don't wear them enough, you won't have enough things to tell us, and it might be just because you're not wearing them enough, and that's why you're not getting used to them. Okay, good habit, put it in the morning, take it out at night. Okay, that's what I would recommend. What else did we need to think about? Let me see if I forgot the 8 hours. Okay, so exposed to sounds, right? So we talk about learning how to new sounds, right? When you get new hearing aids and new technology. So in the beginning, wear them at home, get used to the sounds at home, and that beginning period, it really will depend on you and on the hearing loss and on the hearing test, okay? And the hearing style you got, because if you feel maybe, let's say 1-2 days, you're already feeling, okay, I can hear the sounds, they're there, but they're not uncomfortably loud or anything, that means you're already ready to start going out with the hearing aids, okay? Maybe don't start going out and going right away to a Cactus Club. I don't know if you have Cactus Club across Canada, but I always give this example because it's a very busy and noisy restaurant on the West Coast here, but it's high ceiling place, there's a lot of noise, so you might don't want to wear that new technology and new hearing aid right away in those environments, but you need to walk on the street, listen to the traffic noise, maybe go to a coffee shop where there's not much noise. You need to expose yourself to those noises, okay? One thing that a hearing aid has that calls a noise reduction feature. This noise reduction feature is not, it doesn't really help you to understand the speech, but it helps you to feel comfortable in noisy environments, okay? So this is important when you're trying a hearing aid. Okay, the environment around me is noisy, I can tell it's noisy. It might be a little harder to hear because of the way the environment is, but am I feeling comfortable? Like it's not overwhelming or it's not over loud, okay, the noises, All right, so the hearing aids have those features, and they have a way for us to adjust that, make it a bit more aggressive, less aggressive. So if you put yourself out there, try some noisy places, when you come to the follow-ups, we can adjust that and try to make it even more comfortable so you are able to wear them all the time. Okay, so I always say that anything that I can do, and our clinicians and hearing professionals out there can do to make you feel comfortable, and then you wear them all the time, that's the goal, okay? Because you will be much happier with your hearing aid. Other things you can do in the beginning as well, of course, listening to TV, listen to audiobooks. Audiobooks are great ones, podcasts, okay? So anything that you can do to stimulate your ears with the speech sounds is gonna really help you when you are in a group setting situation with noises, okay? So slowly, you can kind of practice that every day in the beginning, especially when you're getting used to hearing aids. Put maybe the TV on or a music on in the background, and trying to listen to an audiobook, and trying to listen to a podcast, or try to have a conversation perhaps with your husband and when the TV is on, okay? That active listening is gonna really help your brain to improve your ability to understand speech when you really want to understand speech, okay? And then most likely when it's noisy around you, okay? So you needed to get your brain used to that competitive noises around, because you will feel way less overwhelmed when you are in those situations. Okay, so try that in the first couple of weeks as well, slowly. Okay, so don't, of course, you might feel too much in the beginning, but I would say wear them all the time in a quieter place, but start adding some noises. Okay, start going maybe out to the supermarket. You're not going to talk to anyone, but there will be noises around you, and you want to have your hearing aids in. Okay, that's the only way, first of all, that you're gonna know if the technology you chose is the proper one for you, if it's meeting your needs, okay? If you don't do that, we all know well, and you maybe get stuck with a hearing aid that is not a good one for you. And we don't want that, right? It's a lot of investment, and we want you to have a good quality of life with it, right? So that's quite important. And the last thing I want to talk about when you first get hearing aids, and then we'll have more tips and tricks when you're already experienced user, but own voice, okay? Getting used to your own voice. This is the first thing you notice when you first get hearing aids. You get hearing aids and your voice sounds very, maybe a bit of an echo. It might sound, you hear through a microphone, right? It doesn't sound normal, right? That's normal, okay? Because you're hearing your voice through the microphones. You're hearing the tone of your voice that you couldn't hear before because of your hearing loss, right? So when you first get the hearing aids, that own voice sound quality is going to be different, and is a little more challenging if you're maybe living by yourself and you're not talking a lot, because every time you open your mouth it's like, oh my god, I don't like my own voice. So maybe talk out loud at home in the first couple of days, just so you can start getting used to that. Okay, usually I would say about a week to max 2 weeks, you should be very comfortable with your own voice. Okay, if you were not, by then I'm sure you would have a follow-up already scheduled. We can do some adjustments on a hearing aid, or maybe we can discuss a different type of tip until you get used to your own voice. So there's quite a few things we can do for you to get used to your own voice. Okay, but it's something you should definitely expect. It's not gonna sound normal. Okay. And I can share that actually, this experience I have with a lot of patients is when they first start wearing hearing aids, they don't like their voice with the hearing aids, but after they get used to the hearing aids, they don't like their voice without the hearing aids, okay? Because then your brain gets used to hearing well, so when you take it out, it's like, ooh, sounds really muffled, right? So just take it easy and just be ready for that change, okay, for your own voice. But we'll get better, I can promise you. So that's good. I see we have a lot of people watching. Hi, hello, hi Nessie, David, Connie. We'll go over any questions you might have at the end of the video, okay? So now let's think about you went through the trial period, you had like 2 months trying your hearing aids and you felt that was the right product for you, you got used to it, great, you kept your hearing aids. What are the next recommendations? Okay, what should we do when we are already used to hearing aids? Okay, very important is our ongoing care and maintenance. Okay, we want to make sure our hearing aids are working properly every day, and for that you want to make sure they're clean every day. Okay, so creating a habit of when you take the hearing aid out, you have the hearing aids, and I only have the domes here, but there's many styles out there, and my videos had showed that you might have something different. You want to get a cloth, you want to get a Kleenex, and you just want to clean the little tips. Okay, it's kind of hard to see this one, it's kind of dark, but let me see if I show here. So you just like clean around the tips. Okay, look at it. You might need the glasses because they're small. Clean around, get in your kit, when you get hearing aids, they come with brushes and some cleaning tools. Make sure you know how to use them, okay? And it might be, sometimes they come with a package with like a universal cleaning kit. So some of the tools in there, it might be not the ones for your particular hearing aid. So ask your hearing professional that. And then you can clean, use the little brushes. Once a month, we should always, I would say it's a good habit to change the filters. Remember, you might have seen some other videos and you might know that, but there's something we call wax filters. So they will be holding wax and moisture. And if it's too much in there, sound quality of your hearing aid won't be good, right? So you need to change that little filter, okay? Once a month, I think is a good timing, at least so you create a habit of doing it. But you might don't need to change every month if you don't have wax, okay? I know from my other video, someone mentioned about the difficult, maybe dexterity issue that you're not able to change your filter or change your domes. Most of the hearing clinics will be able to provide that to you, okay? If you have that trouble, you can schedule a time every so often and then have that changed and then cleaned, okay? So if you have any problems with that, we can definitely help you, okay? Probably I can say 95% of the times that a hearing aid is not working well is wax in the ear, in the hearing aids, or moisture, or maybe batteries, right? So you maybe forgot to change your batteries, or remember to open the battery door, right? When you are not wearing the hearing aids, if you have the regular battery type of hearing aid, right? Like that. Or if you have the rechargeables, of course, you want to charge them every night, okay? So those are the first two things. You always need to think about it if they're not performing well: batteries and wax on the hearing aids, okay? So this is your ongoing, create a habit of doing that every day, okay? To look at it and clean it. Batteries, of course, you don't need to change every day. Depends on the life, how the size of your batteries, you might need to change less or more often. But the cleaning part, I would always watch your hearing aids every day, okay? So that's one thing. Wearing on a regular basis, okay? So let's say I mentioned in the beginning, I did mention in the beginning that you need to wear them 8 hours a day at least. I see quite a bit happening. You get used to your hearing aids and then you feel you don't need them in some situations. Let's make a very basic analogy, let's say. If you have a high blood pressure, your blood pressure is not high every day, but you need to take medication every day. If you have a hearing loss, you need to wear hearing aids every day, okay? All day. So when you have the hearing aids, even in the situations that you feel you don't need them, you should have them because it creates that habit of putting it in. I can, like 100%, I can share with you, patients that are happy with hearing aids are the ones that put it in the morning when they wake up and they take at night to sleep. There is no other recommendation, really, okay? Of course, if one day you were feeling tired, not feeling well, you don't want to put it in, that's fine. But what I really would like you to keep in mind is, even if you're gonna do things at home, there's some noises around, you're gonna go just quickly to the supermarket, get something, and you feel you're not gonna talk to anyone, so you feel you don't need a hearing aids, you should have them in. That habit, that stimulation of your brain every day, all day, is what will make you to get the best benefit from a hearing aid. Think about all the investment you had, right, on these hearing aids. So make the best of them, right? Use them every day, okay? Everything will sound more normal. You won't feel overwhelmed when you're in a noisy place. And you are gonna know better, like the communication strategies you have to use in some situations. So it's a very important step, okay, when you wear hearing aids, okay? Wear them at least 8 hours a day, okay? Volume control. Let's talk a little bit about volume control. So you might have a manual volume control that most of hearing aids have that option, and depends on the technology. If you got something that's not more high-end, maybe like a more basic entry-level technology, you need sometimes to adjust a little more often the volume control, okay? When you get hearing aids, we do that test. Remember I mentioned in some of my videos the real ear measurement. So we run this test to make sure and verify the performance of the hearing aids and if they're set to the level you should have. So we call like a target. So that hearing aids has to be at 100%. So that means it's giving you the best benefit for that current hearing loss, okay? When you got used to your hearing aids, you should be at that 100%, okay? So normally up to that 2 months of you're getting used to them, the hearing aids should be by then at 100%. Some cases, maybe you had a more, you waited a long time to get hearing aids and your hearing loss was more significant. Sometimes it takes longer, of course, for our brain to get used to it, right? It's just a longer period of what we call as auditory deprivation, okay? So in those cases can take a bit longer. But most of people, I think everybody here kind of follows the recommendations, and most of people are more aware that we should start wearing hearing aids as soon as we notice a change in hearing and as soon as you are diagnosed with hearing loss. By that 2 months, you should be pretty much at the 100%. That 100% means that is your ideal volume for most of situations, okay? So when you are walking around, going to the supermarket, talk to your family and friends, you shouldn't need to be adjusting your volume up and down too much at all. If you are having to do that, we might need to maybe recheck your hearing. So perhaps your hearing has changed, okay? Or sometimes some people just create a habit of doing that every day. They put it in and they turn it down right away. Because of course, when you put it in the hearing aids in the morning, you will notice it sounds louder right away. But give it a few minutes, okay? Give it a few minutes for your brain to adjust to that level. And even if you do that, after a couple of days, you're still feeling that you need to turn it down the volume every day, you need to see your hearing professional again, okay? We needed to assess this again, and maybe your default level is just too high, okay? So the adjustment all the time, not a good thing, okay? Because the hearing aids, most of the hearing aids, they adapt pretty well automatically in most of situations. So your volume control is there to help you. Maybe you go to church, has a high ceiling, not a good acoustic in that environment, then you want to adjust the volume. But overall, they should be very easy, okay? Something you put it in and you forget about it. That's the goal. So if you're not there yet, we need to talk about that, okay? Because I don't want you to be adjusting the volume all the time. Volume control, great. I want to talk about phone. So that's another thing for experienced users. Definitely the hearing aids now, they have a lot of the Bluetooth, right? So a lot of you might just use cell phones and are using Bluetooth, what is great. But if you want to use the hearing aid without a Bluetooth, so with the phone, so I have just a phone here with me, remember to, if the hearing aid, so let's put it on the hearing aid here, just want to kind of talk. So you see the microphone of the hearing aid is right on the top of the ear here, right on the top of the pinna, okay? So when you hold your phone, if you just wanna do a manual, no, you're not gonna use Bluetooth or anything, you wanna make sure your phone is a little higher, closer to that area, okay? So instead of holding like this, you wanna hold like on your cheek here, a little higher, just a bit closer to the microphone of the hearing aid, okay? So kind of move around a little bit, try to find the best spot that you can hear, okay? But if the hearing loss is quite severe and you won't have that face-to-face, right? The challenging that we are dealing now with the face masks, but also on the phone is pretty much the same idea. We don't have that face-to-face to help with those facial cues. So some patients might require a telephone that is for hearing impaired, so it's more compatible to hearing aids. So if you have, anybody in the family that has a more severe loss, ask your hearing professional, because there are some phones that are better for those situations. And or some home phones as well now, they're Bluetooth capable, so they can also be paired to the hearing aids, and you can have that hands-free type of equipment as well, okay? So telephone can be very challenging for some of you and for maybe someone you know, but remember to tell them to kind of bring it up slightly higher here, okay? That might help you to hear better, okay? And there was something as well about the phone. I didn't put on my list to talk about it, but I remember now. I should mention that. T-coil. T-coil is a feature on the hearing aid. That works with a magnet field. It helps in some type of phones as well. And it helps in some public places that they are looped. That's how we call. I can talk more about that in maybe my next video. But there's something called T-coil, so you can ask your hearing professional as well to explain more about this feature in a lot of the hearing aids nowadays that can help with some type of phones and as I said, some public environments, okay? So that was my tip for telephones, and we can have a full video about that. I think there's lots to talk about phones. Glasses. So this is something I want to talk about, and we'll add in as well the masks because I know that's been, of course, a big problem. But one thing important when you wear glasses, and specifically the behind ear hearing aids, you want to put the glasses closer to the head. So glasses, let me put it on here, so I want you to show you. Let me remove the hearing aids so it'll be easier. So glasses, of course, close to the head. Hearing aids will, let's see if I can show you properly, will sit just on the outside. Can you see that? Okay. So glasses inside, hearing aid on the outside. Always like that, okay? Because if you do this, you won't feel the glasses bothering you with the hearing aids. Another thing is when you remove your glasses, you just do it slowly, okay? And then you put it back slowly. They will sit where they should, okay? So right there. Another thing that happens a lot, especially when you're a new user, the microphone, you hear the rustling of your hair. So make sure you can just kind of do like this, remove the hair from it, so you're not going to be hearing that sound all the time if that's bothering you, okay? But glasses inside, touching the head, hearing aids touching the ear, okay? Now the mask. Oh my goodness, like it's one more thing for us to put behind the ears, but I'm going to show you something. Okay, so you see that I took it out the mask and I didn't dislodge my hearing aids, neither my glasses. Patience, okay? I know it's easy to say when you don't have to deal with the situation, but unless you try a different type of mask, you know what I saw another day, walk on the street, there was someone with a mask that there was not like elastic like this, it was like too loose, I don't think it was an elastic, but anyways, was too loose strip here. So they kind of made like a little tight here and on the bottom. So we didn't go around the ear at all. So I think now there's more and more getting new styles out there. But if you wear that, main important thing is okay, so pull the elastic higher and then slowly you remove it. That's the only way I can see, okay? That we can make sure the hearing aids doesn't come with the face masks, okay? So just be careful with that. But I know it's a little tricky with the glasses, hearing aids and that. So if it's, you might, you know, if you're looking for something new, you might want to try some different styles. So there are some different styles there. If it really bothers you, or if it depends on your work, you need to remove them all the time. But I'm pretty sure there was one of the comments I read below my picture was from a nurse, and that's all she said. She said she does that all day, but she just takes them out very slowly. So you just need to learn this new trick now to slowly remove the mask, right? So that's good. 2 more tips I want to talk, and then I think I've talked too much, and I haven't really watched much the comments. There's a band you mentioned last time where you hook the elastic on it. That's right, Sand. Oh, I have one. Hold on. A friend of mine gave me something similar. We have something very similar that we can provide you, but that's something you can put it on the back to hold the elastic as well. Okay. But I think anything really that we use with the masks, you still need to be careful. I think it's more about feeling comfortable. So there's nothing really too much pressure behind the ears. But when you remove it, just bring it up the elastic a bit higher and then remove it. Okay, so then the hearing aid won't move. Okay, but 2 more tips I want to mention is repairing hearing aids. So if you look at your hearing aids and it looks something weird or they're not working well, instead of you trying to do things yourself, make sure you go back to the clinic. Okay, so when you purchase hearing aid, you have the service included in your hearing aids, so make use of it. Give us a call and then we'll book an appointment and take a look what's wrong. And a lot of the minor repairs on hearing aids can be done in the clinic. Okay, so you may feel that's something you might need to send it away or something, but a lot of the times we can just fix it in the clinic. Okay, so make sure you do that. And one more thing I want to mention about experienced users is about coming back when you know, let's say your lifestyle changed and now you're more involved in a specific situation and you're start having more trouble in that environment. Okay, make sure you come back to us. Okay, because a lot of the times when you get new hearing aids, all the adjustments and maybe the features we're going to enable is based on those first appointments, that first conversations that we have with you. If things change later on, we might haven't turned it on a feature that could help you. Okay, so discuss the situation. All right, so come back. Just don't keep in mind, oh, hearing aid doesn't work. That's not the case. Okay, technology had improved so much, but maybe a feature that we didn't enable it, or maybe we didn't show you in the beginning, just to kind of protect you, to be sincere, so you don't feel overwhelmed with so much technology. But there are things we can just add on later. Okay, so come in, book an appointment so we can talk about the difficulties you're still having, and then we'll give you, you know, a realistic expectation, perhaps, or maybe we can offer turning on something on the hearing aids that you didn't have before. Okay, so that's a good tip, I would say, because I see that happening quite a bit. Okay, so don't feel shy. We are here to help you. So make sure you come back to discuss those situations with us. Okay. That's good. Hi, David Morris. Nice to see you again. All right, so maybe we'll go over the questions now. I think I shared everything I had in mind. So let me see if I see any questions on my email here. Give me 1 second, and I'm gonna go over all these questions there. Let's see. Okay. Changing, okay. So there is a question about changing filters. I'm afraid I'll break the hearing aid when I try to change a filter, and that's from Dawn. No, Dawn, don't worry too much about it. I think, of course, if you don't know what to do, go to the clinic so they can at least show you, right, how to do the correct way. But they're not super delicate to change. I know when we look at a hearing aid, it looks like very delicate, right? But they're pretty robust. So they can take on a lot of things. So just make sure when you're changing the filter, you use just the right tool, okay? Because if you maybe, let's say you kept a filter from your previous hearing aid and now you're trying to use the same one, sometimes depends on the style that changes. But don't need to be afraid. They don't break very easily at all, okay? So, but get some information from your hearing professional how to do that, okay? Needed to see how to clean my hearing aids. Yeah, so that's from Dawn. So Dawn, I would suggest you book an appointment. We can definitely show you that, okay? And there's some videos. I placed some videos about cleaning hearing aids. The battery in one aid goes down way faster than the other. Why is this? Can I do something about it? And this question is from Tom. So it depends, Tom. If you have what we call as asymmetric hearing loss, so if one hearing loss is worse than the other and you need way more power in that side to compensate the hearing loss, sometimes that hearing aid will drain batteries faster, okay? But if you have a hearing loss that is very similar, and you're getting a way less battery life from one of the hearing aids, I would say they needed to be looked at it at the manufacturer. Okay, so they might need to be repaired. Sometimes moisture getting to the hearing aid can cause that. And I know it might sound funny that you might have just more moisture on one side than the other, but it happens. You know, our body's like right and left. Sometimes things, you know, happens. We have no answer for it. But yeah, usually they should last pretty similar, okay? The batteries, when you hear the warning in one side, always change both. But if you want to test it out, you know, you can, but I think you would notice if one battery is dying much faster. So we need to look at it and probably send back to the manufacturer, okay? Next month will mark 1 year I've been wearing Phonak Marvel Advanced Hearing Aids. David, he said he's extremely pleased with the aids and service from my Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. 1 year follow-up appointments, 2 weeks. I recommend Connect Hearing and the device I use. Thank you, David. Very nice of you to say that. What else? Let's see. We have so many other questions here. I removed the plastic guide and find the aid more comfortable. Does that impact the performance? It does. Depends, Tony. What Tony's talking about is this, what we call as a retention wire. In the beginning, they can be a little tricky because they're not super flexible. They're more like, and they're pretty straight. But after you start wearing them, they will curl like this. So it's kind of, they take the shape of your ear. But for some ear canal shapes, that's just not very comfortable. So if you remove it, but you feel that the hearing aid is stay put, it stays inside well, even when you chew, when you move, and you talk, they're very stable. It's not gonna affect the performance of the hearing aid. Okay, Tony? But if they're moving out and then you're pushing them in on a regular basis, then it's not a good thing. So if the wire doesn't work for you, we might need to try maybe a different tip in the hearing aids, or even a custom tip, okay? Because then it can be shaped for you. You don't need that extra wire, and they keep the performance of the hearing aid, okay? Let's see what else if I can. Let's see. Thank you for sharing. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Noisy restaurants. I've had adjusted several times to to noisy restaurants. Yeah, Chris, that's Chris. Hey, Chris. Yeah, so in noisy restaurants, sometimes you need to adjust the volume a little bit. That's for sure, okay? Or changing the program. You might have like a directional microphone, or with the apps now, right? You can change. They have like a speech focus feature, so you can make them more narrow, like just so you can hear better speech. So that's okay if you want to be adjusting them in some of the situations, okay? It's just not every day. If you're doing that, there's something wrong. We need to check, okay? What else? Have talked to where? Okay, there's a lot of questions here. I don't know if you guys want to be finding them. This Barb. Oh, okay. So maybe I'll go over those questions afterwards. So the video doesn't, last too long here. But very nice having you guys here again with me. Enjoy the fall. It's a beautiful day in Vancouver. It's sunny, not rainy. But I still need to work in the afternoon. So it's not gonna help this beautiful weather from the office, but anyways, I'll see you guys probably in a month from now again. We'll post on Facebook, and that big virtual hug. Okay, stay safe, stay connected, and we're here for you. Okay, bye bye, take care.